info.
KhaliliCenter.com.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And as always, you can visit NBCLA.com for the latest news in your area. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon.
Got a light that doesn't light or a switch that doesn't switch?
Call Powell.
For any electrical problem.
Call Powell Electric for a $71 Dads and Grads special.
Call Powell Electric. We'll fix it in a flash.
Today on the Access Hollywood Live Tour.
And we have breaking news right now. This is a pursuit on the 10 freeway in Boyle Heights. Started about 10:15. Megan Reyes is in News Chopper 4, and she can fill us in. This is a high rate of speed this driver is traveling at. Megan?
Yeah, it's a high-speed pursuit. We're trying to keep up with this guy. At times, he was going in excess of 100 miles per hour. There he is coming onto the merge of the Hollywood Freeway in downtown Boyle Heights area. Now, this originated out of the LAPD Hollenbeck Division. This person is wanted for some type of we were listening to the call. There was some type of crime-related call to this incident here. LAPD advising units on the ground, be careful, this person may have a weapon. So it makes this pursuit even more dangerous as we're coming in through the downtown slot on the northbound Hollywood Freeway. Now, this person was traveling west on the 10 in excess of 100 miles per hour, exited Santa Anita, traveled along surface streets. There you see CHP off to the right shoulder as well, turned around and went 10 westbound. So now we're coming into downtown, north on the Hollywood Freeway. Conditions ahead of him is a little tough there with all that traffic right now. So LAPD in what they call a tracking mode, because this person was traveling, exiting Vignes now off that Hollywood Freeway. But because this person was traveling at such a high rate of speed, public safety is #1 concern, so they went into tracking mode. So you may not see units directly behind this person, but LAPD helicopter above following this pursuit here in the Hollywood area, just off the Hollywood Freeway coming up into downtown Los Angeles.
And Megan, as we know, sometimes as these pursuits move from city streets onto the freeways and highways and whatnot, has the CHP joined in this at all?
Well, CHP is aware of this pursuit as we make that U-turn there. We're going back underneath the Hollywood Freeway. They are on standby right now. LAPD is priority. They are handling this pursuit since it's back in their neighborhood. But that's the LAPD ship right there down below. But again, if they need assistance from the California Highway Patrol, they are standing by. A lot of times when a pursuit continues along to the freeways, the CHP, they're very familiar with that area. That's why they take over. Looks like we may be getting back onto the freeway itself. I believe we're going back onto the Hollywood Freeway northbound. So again, LAPD is the primary, but CHP is standing by. In fact, there's a CHP unit there, right there. He may take possession right now, and he may be a priority unit. So this pursuit now in conjunction with LAPD as well as the California Highway Patrol as this guy goes along the right shoulder there.
Wow.
Not a safe move, very dangerous. At least he's a little slower. We said earlier he was traveling at times of 100 miles per hour, but right now he's stuck in good old LA traffic, so that's not going to allow him to drive at those dangerous speeds. Unfortunately, sometimes that allows these drivers to drive very erratically. CHP not too far from behind, but you can see the shadow of the LAPD helicopter, and we're just monitoring this pursuit here north on the Hollywood Freeway coming up on the Alameda Street exit as CHP and LAPD are monitoring this situation.
And as we continue to watch to see what this driver is going to do, as Megan Reyes was reporting, high rates of speed, 100 miles an hour, in excess of that at times. And now that we see this person blocked in traffic now, we're starting to see the erratic movement turning around. And we should mention that this all started about 10:15. And this has been eastbound on the 10, but now turning around, circling around. And we know this person is known to authorities as someone who made criminal threats and is known to possess weapons. So they're going to want to use extreme caution with this person.
Yeah, you have no idea what this person's motivation is. And obviously, based on the way this individual is driving right now, weaving in and out of traffic. And yes, while the traffic could slow down this person, at the same time, it also puts those other motorists in danger right now. Megan, we know that we've been hopping on and off the 10 and the 5 for a period of time. We're still on the 101, correct?
Hey guys, we're losing a little bit of that IFB, but I can tell you, I think you're asking about the situation. He has been going on and off some freeways. Now we're making the transition to the 110 freeway, and there he goes. He's committed to the South 110 Harbor Freeway by the looks of that. So, yeah, he's going on to that South 110 freeway. There's the connector. He can actually go to the north side, and he just made that last-minute change. So here we go. We're going on to the Arroyo Seco Parkway, the northbound side of the one.
And once again, you've been listening in and watching now this police pursuit. Let's pick it up again. Megan Reyes in News Chopper 4. Megan, which way are we heading now?
Right now, there he is. He's on the northbound side of the 110 freeway, picking up a lot of speed. Look at that driver. He's going at least 80 to 90 miles per hour now. According to the LAPD, he is just really traveling fast here, coming out of downtown Los Angeles onto the northbound 110 freeway, and he is traveling at a very high rate of speed here. So we're going to watch this guy as he is trying to get away from LAPD again as we try to keep an eye on this guy. This is on the 110 northbound, approaching the, we just past the 4-level interchange. So we are coming up, here we go, we are coming up on the tunnels here, if you're familiar with this area, and unfortunately we're just trying to get up as quickly as we can, but you can see he's underneath the tunnel, so he'll come out here in a second. But it's that red vehicle. Now he's entering the second tunnel, pulling out a little so we can see him, LAPD up behind, and we're just trying to get News Chopper 4 up into position here so we can see this guy as he comes out of the tunnels.
And here we are right now. We're coming up on an hour since this pursuit began. Speeds right now 80, 90 miles per hour. They were above 100 miles per hour for a period of time on and off various freeways. Now, authorities, whether it's the LAPD or the CHP, they have a few tools at their disposal. They could drop spike strips, but it's very difficult to do in a situation like this when you have so many other vehicles on the road. There's a pit maneuver, but they're going way too fast for something like that. So right now, it'll be interesting to see how the pursuing officers, what they do, if they kind of give him some distance in hopes that he'll slow down, because when you're going this fast, you're putting so many people at risk. And Megan, it just looks like he's getting faster and faster. Any idea how fast he could be going right now?
It sounds like he's going about 75 to 80 miles per hour. And if you drive this 110 freeway, you know those speeds are not safe on this freeway, especially coming into the South Pasadena area where we have some really sharp turns. So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to negotiate that area. We're coming up on Avenue 43, north on the 110 freeway. Vehicle traveling at a very high rate of speed in the left lane. Again, LAPD is what they call in a tracking mode because of this recklessness of this driver. Public safety is #1 concern, but they're not going to let this guy get away. He apparently, allegedly, may have a weapon, so that is a very dangerous situation. They want to stop this guy, but they want to do it in a safe manner. As you see, he comes up on all these vehicles here, negotiates that turn, comes up onto the right side here, and still passes these other vehicles. So this, no doubt, is a dangerous pursuit on this freeway, 110 northbound. We're entering into the Highland Park, South Pasadena area. LAPD units and CHP are closely behind.
Yeah, that 110 freeway actually built for leisurely drives, not built to withstand this type of speed. And if you've been on the freeway, you're familiar with the area, you know the exits can also be very dangerous, harrowing at times. You have to be very careful, so you have to wonder about traffic getting on and off the freeway, and we see him transitioning yet again.
Yeah, it looks like this might be the Via Marisol exit here off the 110 freeway. He's just turned around, and we see him do a lot of this behavior, exiting a freeway and then getting back on it. Whether or not he's trying to use that as a tactic to get officers off his back. Here we go. We make that turn, and again, as he's been doing this before on the 10, on the Hollywood, he may be getting back onto this freeway. There's some traffic there as other vehicles are there. Now, it looks like this is a point where he is pinned in, and he just comes right out like that with no regards to any traffic. LAPD units are on the other side of the freeway, but they know where he is. He's now on the other side, and so you can see on the right side, there's the helicopter, the shadow of the chopper. Now this vehicle is traveling south 110 freeway, coming back into the Monterey, or the Highland Park area, coming out of South Pasadena. So it's just a high-speed, dangerous pursuit that originated out of the LAPD Hollenbeck division.
And Megan, as we see him approaching these other vehicles, what adds to sort of the dangerous dynamic to this, most of these vehicles don't know what's going on. The CHP, LAPD, their lights and sirens are back in the distance sometimes, and you have this vehicle approaching right behind you. And so that just adds to sort of the dangerous situation that we're faced with right now. And Megan, have we been able to confirm if it is in fact only one person in that vehicle? We know that this individual is making threats and perhaps had a weapon.
Well, I did hear the LAPD airship indicate to units down below that he did observe one male subject in that vehicle. So we do have one person. Not sure if there are any other people in that car. As you can see, there's tinted windows, so sometimes it's hard for officers to exactly see who is in that vehicle, but they do know there's one male Hispanic driver in this vehicle. That is the person being pursued. And again, they did mention earlier this person is known to have a weapon. Whether or not that was in the commission of a crime related to this vehicle, still not confirmed yet, but units. There's the LAPD helicopter. They've got eyes on this person, and we're coming up, I believe, already to the 5 freeway. So that's how fast he is going, working his way onto the Golden State Freeway. He's going to have the choice now whether or not he's going to go northbound or southbound, and I believe he's taking the connector to the South Golden State Freeway from this 110.
And once again, changing directions. And it's interesting because often when we watch these pursuits, police and the CHP don't really know what they're dealing with. We always consider the person could be armed and dangerous. We say that every time, but now we know this person is wanted for making criminal threats. We know that person is carrying weapons, and we have a description of the person. So a lot of information coming in as we continue. Right now, we've lost the signal, but we'll stay with it. We're back now with this high-speed pursuit that started an hour ago on the 10 freeway. The Hollenbeck division of the LAPD picking up this pursuit and has since been taken over as well by the CHP.
Yeah, Kathy, in fact, he's going on the North 5 Golden State Freeway, and look how fast this guy is going. In relation to other vehicles, traffic is slow, North 5. We're going to see some of the slow traffic here through the Boyle Heights area as we come into Atwater Village, and he is just hauling on this freeway, just passing those vehicles. I believe that is the center divider he is traveling through. Not a good idea, very dangerous. We just hope nobody is broken down up ahead, but this is one of those dangerous situations here on this pursuit. That's why they're on a tracking mode. They don't want this guy to see the police behind him. Hopefully that tactic will allow this person to slow down somewhat of a safe manner. The LAPD helicopter is above. They are watching him. They are calling out his position to the units down below. And so the tactic is they're going to wait till he gets off the freeway or somewhere safe where hopefully they can get into position to either apply the pit maneuver or deploy some type of spikes to slow this vehicle down. But right now, at these speeds, that is impossible. That is the Glendale Freeway we just passed. We're still North 5 coming out of Atwater Village. Looks like the Burbank-Glendale area, if he stays on the freeway, is going to be the next cities he's going to come into.
And for an hour, basically, we've just seen him kind of doing these circles with this in Boyle Heights for a period of time. Then he shot up the 110 to South Pasadena, back downtown. Now we're heading north on the 5 here. So kind of going around in circles. And one thing that we've seen with some of these pursuits, and forgive us as our chopper kind of cuts in and out, we will stay with it here, this breaking story. But sometimes we see with these pursuits, these suspects will tend to gravitate towards their neighborhoods, or at least a place that they're familiar with.
Guys,
so it's interesting that he hasn't kind of continued off of one of these freeways. He's kind of gone back and to downtown and then back out again. And so here we are heading up towards, you said, Burbank-Glendale area, right? Northbound 5. Megan, is that correct right now?
There, I believe he will just be coming up on the Glendale Boulevard exit there. That's actually looks like Los Feliz to me. So he is coming rapidly north on the 5 freeway. Traffic seems to be a little loosening up in this area ahead of him. I'll pull out a little to kind of see what the traffic looks like. Unfortunately, that's going to allow this person to travel at unsafe speeds. But CHP still monitoring him, as well as the LA.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because you have to wonder what he's thinking. Traffic is light right now, but it isn't always. That freeway can get really jammed, too, and especially as we come up on the lunch hour. All right, Megan, we're going to stay with you. It's kind of cutting in and out, so just let us know. But we're here. We're going to stay with it. All right, Megan's trying to figure out a way to stay with us right now. Yep. Keep that signal clear. We'll stay on the air for you and continue to follow this high-speed pursuit. 1 hour now, we've been following it. The LAPD, the Hollenbeck Division, in pursuit along with the CHP. And right now, we're being told that it looks like they're hanging back a little, just waiting to see what this guy is going to do, not wanting to create any kind of a traffic situation or a hazardous situation where anyone could get injured.
And we know this is a man who made some sort of threat. We don't know the nature of that threat. We know that he's also been known to carry a weapon. What is unclear is whether he has a weapon with him at this time. So when you don't know the motivation of somebody who is driving at speeds upwards of 80, 90, 100 miles per hour, as we've seen over the last hour, it can be an incredibly dangerous situation. Again, the LAPD, the lead agency on this, however, since it's been on our highways here in Southern California, the CHP also involved and kind of standing back and watching. And what we've seen is because he's been going so fast, we haven't seen patrol cars try to get too close to him. The tools they have at their disposal, the spike strip, a pit maneuver, Both of those things, they need to get those speeds down, and both of them incredibly dangerous. You can't really deploy that sort of tool in a situation like this when traffic is so heavy. So they're sort of sitting back, waiting to see what happens, hoping that by doing that, perhaps you can get the individual behind the wheel to slow down. And right now, last we checked, we were northbound 5 freeway heading towards Glendale. But this, over the course of the last hour, he was on the 110, he was on the 10, he was up and down the 5, went all the way out to South Pasadena, only to get off on surface streets, turn back around. So an incredibly dangerous situation. We're continuing to follow it right now. And let's see if we can bring back in Megan Reyes. We have had some issues with the signal. But Megan, as we're watching this, how far has he been able to travel up the 5 northbound?
We're on the northbound side of the 5 as we just coming up on Western Avenue. Vehicle traveling about 70 miles per hour now, still weaving in and out of traffic lanes. Not as dangerous as we saw earlier, but still any pursuit very dangerous. He's weaving over to the right side, might be exiting Western Avenue, and that would land him directly into the city of Glendale, but he decides not to, going back into the middle lane. So again, we're on the Golden State Freeway. A pursuit originated out of the Hollenbeck Division. One male person in this vehicle believed to possibly have a weapon, so obviously officers not taking.
And we were talking about some of the tools that the officers have right now, what they can do in this situation. Of course, they have the airship following, so any commission of a crime, anything that happens during this pursuit, be it hit a vehicle or any type of pedestrian who might be injured, any kind of crime that's committed, of course, they'll have a log, and that will serve when the prosecution time comes. But right now, a pit maneuver would be impossible on this busy freeway.
Which one?
You have
Which
to
one?
wait
Tell
for
me.
him to get off on city streets, as he was doing earlier, and plan ahead. We've seen so many times that people who are trying to flee police are very good at spotting the spike strips and then going around them. So it can be a very tedious situation. And you were talking also about other situations, other things that they can do, and that is a spike strip. But again, at these high speeds, a very dangerous technique to try to deploy.
And the thing that we've seen with this driver is some of the maneuvers that he's been willing to make, incredibly dangerous, weaving in and out of traffic for periods of time. He even went off the road, was trying to pass people along the shoulder. Cars are sort of swerving out of the way. At one point, he almost sideswiped one vehicle as he was trying to get back on the freeway. And here we are exiting once again. I'm not sure exactly where we are right now. This is the Denny's here. We had our picture for a second. We're going to get back to it in just a bit. But we were on the northbound 5 freeway going at speeds upwards of 70, 80 miles per hour. When traffic lightened up, we picked up once again. Let's see if we can get back to News Chopper 4 right now. Megan Reyes, we saw him get off the freeway. It looks like he got back on. Where are we right now?
We're still on the Golden State Freeway coming into the Burbank area, just crossing over Burbank Boulevard. Is CHP following this vehicle, North 5 Golden State Freeway. We're coming out of the Burbank area, just approaching Hollywood Way, still traveling at a high rate of speed in the left lane there, north on the 5 freeway. And really, this person, at least if any good news, has slowed down somewhat, but now he's going to pass that vehicle going in between the big rig. You can see that's the red vehicle, dark red vehicle with tinted windows. And again, those tinted windows always cause a problem for officers. When it comes time to pull this person out of the vehicle, they cannot see how many people are in that car. Now, they do know that there's one subject in this vehicle, one male Hispanic, believed to be involved in some type of crime. We've been talking about that here, and he may have a weapon. We heard officers talk about this guy has possibly carrying a gun right now, so it makes this pursuit even more dangerous. High rate of speeds here, Golden State Freeway North 5 as we over, looks like that is Buena Vista right there down below.
And we are still waiting to hear the details of why this whole pursuit started. We know whoever this is wanted for making criminal threats, but we don't really know the situation that started this. What type of criminal threat? Was this during the commission of a crime? And then how the weapons came to be. Did he brandish a weapon? Did officers actually see the weapon, or was this merely a threat? We don't know those details yet. Of course, that will all come out in the investigation later. But right now, what they need is for this pursuit to come to an end, and they want to do it before anyone is hurt in this.
And one thing that's worth pointing out here is the fact that most of the time, 90% of the time, that's just a figure thrown out there. When we watch these pursuits, they eventually catch these individuals, whether they run out of gasoline or whatever it may be, or they're able to get them with one of their pit maneuvers or spike strips. We want to take a moment right now just to watch this unfold. Spike strips. We want to take a moment right now just to watch this unfold. Okay, so once again, we're here on the northbound 5 freeway. We're now near Sun Valley. All of this originating more than an hour ago now in the LAPD Hollenbeck division. He's been sort of in and out of the downtown area on the 110, on the 10, on the 5, went all the way up to South Pasadena, then back towards downtown, now heading north once again, driving at speeds at times 80, 90 miles per hour. It's slow as we're in heavy traffic right now. If we can check back in with Megan. Megan, one thing that we've really noticed in watching this, there doesn't seem to be too many patrol cars too close to this individual. They're staying back quite a bit.
Absolutely, they are staying back for public safety. That's #1 concern whenever there's a pursuit. They want to make sure that the public is not at risk at the time. And right now, because of the speeds that this person was traveling earlier, excess of 100 miles per hour, that is just ridiculous on some of our freeways. As a result of that, they went into what they call a tracking mode. It doesn't mean this guy's getting away. In his rearview mirror, he does not see any units directly behind him. However, the helicopter is above. You'll see the LAPD airship sometimes come into our view. They are monitoring his location right now. We are on the Golden State Freeway coming into the Pacoima area. North 5 as we approach, we actually approaching Lancashire right now. So they are monitoring the situation. CHP is also aware of this pursuit. So they are secondary right now. If LAPD requires their assistance, they will then be primary. They will take over this pursuit.
And Megan, you follow a lot of these pursuits and you have for years. What do authorities tell people to do when they're stuck in a situation like that? When you realize that you're in the middle of a pursuit, what's the best thing to do?
It's I've actually asked that question. 2 different answers. One, maintain your position, like this vehicle right here. Just stay in your lane. Don't get involved. That's definitely one thing you do not want to do. Let the person go around you. Now, if you see CHP units or any police unit coming up behind you and they have their lights and sirens on, only if you can safely pull over to the right, that's what they want you to do. But don't do it suddenly, because that'll cause a move where officers will have to erratically quickly move, and they don't want any other problems related to a pursuit. So really, just maintain your lane. Let this guy do what he wants to do. Let him pass you. But if you can feel you can safely get out of his way without causing any problems to yourself or jeopardizing anybody else on the freeway, that's pretty much what they ask for motorists to do.
And Megan, we're really seeing this individual kind of hit a straightaway there and pick up the speed. Earlier on in this pursuit, he was actually getting off the roadway and onto the shoulder trying to get past cars, but it looks like he's got some daylight ahead of him. How fast would you estimate he's going right now?
Right now, he is kind of booking it there. I'm going to pull out a little. You can see him off to the right there. He's kind of... He's going probably about 70 miles per hour. But those are the moves right there. Going off into that gore point, right where this these 2 freeways merge. That's a 170 on the Golden State Freeway. All of a sudden, it's coming next to a school bus now, but all of a sudden you see this vehicle you're not expecting. That's the dangerous part of these pursuits. That erratic driving is what can cause an accident, and that is why officers are still not directly behind him. As I pull back, you don't see any officers there, but we are exiting right now. I believe this might be the Osborne exit off the Golden State Freeway, and he's going to come to a dead end here where he's either going to have to turn left or right. If he goes right, he's going to pass the LAPD Foothill Division. If he goes left, he's going to go into the Arleta area. So here he goes, cutting in front of this vehicle right here, and he's decided he's going to turn right. So now LAPD Foothill Division, not too far. This could be a key moment where they can actually deploy a spike strip if they can safely do so and maneuver that fast enough. That would require him to go a little further along this portion of the roadway, and whether or not he does that, it'll soon be decided. We do have cross traffic. He ran that red light.
Oncoming lanes right now.
And now he's going northbound. I think this might actually be Van Nuys Boulevard.
And again, we know from covering pursuits too and talking to authorities on the phone while we're covering them, the agencies can talk to each other and they can let each other know, hey, this pursuit is coming into your area. So they're on top of it. They know what's happening. So like you said, if they wanted to deploy a spike strip, now would be the time to do it if they could.
Yeah, and see, Kathy, sometimes they go into a neighborhood where they're familiar with, but we're not sure with this situation. He's doing some circles right now on the neighborhood streets. We are in the Pacoima area off the Osborne exit off the Golden State Freeway. Whether or not he is familiar with this area, but he has seemed to make his way all the way from the Hollenbeck area. That's Osborne Boulevard, cutting right in front of traffic, and right there, almost that vehicle slammed into him. So, you know, he's just not having any regards. There we go. He just almost maybe even bumped that minivan over there. He's making a U-turn here on Osborne.
Tight.
Yeah, not too safe, but again, now he's going toward the LAPD Foothill Division. Perfect opportunity if officers can safely do that to deploy a spike strip to at least hopefully slow this guy down.
I tell you what, it makes you cringe when he gets into the neighborhoods because you just know people are out walking
And especially with the patrol, they don't have their lights and sirens on. They're not as close to this vehicle. They don't know exactly what's going on. The challenge with a spike strip here, too, is, I mean, he's making U-turns. He's turning left. He's turning right. To some degree, law enforcement officers have to predict where he's going to be. And right now, when you're in the middle of city streets, it's incredibly challenging. And we're looking at this in Pacoima. I have my map up here. Osborne Street, Whitman Airport, kind of nearby here. But does it look like this road dead ends? I'm not exactly sure what street he's on right now, Megan.
Here he goes. He's coming up on some cross traffic here. I believe that might be Terravella. That's the LAPD ship that just is monitoring this guy. We are near Whiteman Airport, but he's going back towards, no problem, he's going back towards the Golden State Freeway. So you are correct in the area of Whiteman or in the area of Pacoima. Some of these streets actually do dead end, like you mentioned, but he is not on one of the streets. Here it comes up on cross traffic. He does have a red light, runs that red light, but fortunately there was not any traffic. So as he works his way westbound on the street here, this is just south of Osborne, and he is approaching the Golden State Freeway here shortly. He'll be going underneath that Golden State Freeway, and there's the freeway as we mentioned. Let's see what he decides to do, if he goes back onto the freeway or whether or not he continues westbound into Arleta. And now we finally see a unit. Now that we're on the surface street there, you can see there's the helicopter, there's an LAPD unit following behind him, and they are not going to let this guy get away.
Yeah, we should mention he's still traveling a pretty good clip, though, even now that he's off of freeways and he's on surface streets. He's got some speed going still as he makes some of these erratic turns.
Yeah, and when he makes some of these erratic turns, as he just turned left on this street here, we're paralleling the Golden State Freeway, sometimes that can be a perfect time for them to execute a pit maneuver. Unfortunately, that officer was not able to get back behind him that quickly. But look at this guy. He's traveling on this street. Schools are out now. LA Unified Schools are in summer. Kids are out playing in this neighborhood. So this is just a very dangerous pursuit. Anytime we see a pursuit this fast on surface streets, you're just asking for trouble, and unfortunately, we hope this comes to an end before anything happens. He's getting back onto the 170 right now, so now he's going back onto the freeway. So if any good news, we're not going to have to worry about these dangerous speeds on surface streets.
And once again, it's important to point out we don't exactly know what this man's motivation is. We know that he is being pursued for making some sort of threat. We know at one point he's known to have a weapon, but what does that mean? Does it mean he has a weapon in his vehicle? It actually looked like he stuck his hand out of the window for a period of time. I don't know if he was waving, or Megan, if you could see it, did it look like he was throwing something out the window?
I didn't see that. I did see something kick up earlier. I don't know if that was debris that he ran over, but anytime they throw something out, LAPD officers, they'll see it. Even the air division, sometimes they see that and they will mark, well, there he is. That is a dangerous move. I don't know what he was doing there, whether or not he was you know what? It looks like he may actually have a weapon.
It does.
And pointed it in the direction of officers. I mean, this is one of my first pursuits where I can see somebody pointing a weapon at officers. This is a dangerous pursuit. This guy needs to be stopped. Not only does he have a weapon, and he's already showed it, now every person on the freeway with this person, or with this guy, is a possible target for this person.
Yeah, and you have to wonder exactly what he's saying. You know, look, I have this. He knows they can see him. Does he want this to ramp up, or is he saying stay away? Obviously, police are going to keep in pursuit now, but like you said, it brings it to a whole new level, and it also makes clear what we were hearing from the very beginning, wanted for making criminal threats, a person carry a weapon. So obviously, authorities know that this person does have that weapon, and now we have seen it now live on TV.
And it's difficult to see for sure and be able to confirm that that was in fact a weapon that he was sticking out the window, but clearly he had some sort of object that he was waving around. And now this, as we mentioned, kicked up to a whole new level. And already the speeds picking up once again. We've seen them at 80 miles per hour plus on the freeway. And he's sort of been all over the place. Now back southbound 170 freeway, heading back towards Los Angeles, the downtown area. And who knows where we go from here. Megan, how close are patrol cars? It looked like one of them was sort of gaining some ground on him when he went on surface streets, and then he sort of picked up, and there's daylight once again between him and the patrol cars behind him.
Well, I'm pulling out, and you can see there's no officers directly behind him. I'm trying to get confirmation whether that was a weapon. But from my vantage point, it looks something that's, you know, looked like a weapon. So, again, we can either confirm or deny it this time. But officers are not taking any chances. They have pulled back. The helicopter is above. They are tracking this pursuit. They are letting officers know where he is. But now, again, this is a very dangerous pursuit. We're on the South 170 Hollywood Freeway coming into the Valley Glen area. Our next major intersection should be the 170, the 101 interchange. And really, he'll have two choices, either to continue along the South 170 onto the Hollywood Freeway or make a transition onto that eastbound 134.
One thing we can say, weapon or not, you know, anytime you put something out there, you know, at an officer, it's deemed as a threat. So that is what we were saying for sure. Traffic seems pretty light out there on the freeways right now. That's a good thing and a bad thing, as Megan was pointing out. A good thing, obviously, because not as many people out there, but a bad thing because that really allows them to pick up those dangerous speeds. And we have seen this driver going in excess of 100 miles per hour during this chase that's now been going on for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, watch out for those cyclists right there. In fact, you can see he comes off the freeway, runs that red light, and now he appears to be slowing down. So let's see what this guy decides to do. Yeah, this could be a very dangerous situation. Officers know what he's doing. They know he's pulled over. Whether or not he's waiting for officers, we don't know. But here he goes, coming out of the vehicle. Let's see. Oh, and he does have, he has an assault rifle. So this is a very dangerous situation right now. We have somebody who just got off the freeway. I believe this might be Magnolia off the 170, and this person has an assault rifle as he is running into the neighborhood. This person needs to be stopped.
What is this neighborhood? Can you be specific once again, just so people watching can know?
North Hollywood. I believe this is the Magnolia exit off the 170. The subject is running westbound on the street there with a rifle in his hand. In fact, that is an assault rifle. So this is a very, very dangerous pursuit. We are not going to let this guy in this area.
Okay, and again, authorities always tell you, stay inside, doors locked, do not come outside, do not try to be a part of this in any way. It's a dangerous situation now. We've been following this pursuit. This person wanted for making criminal threats. Now we see with a rifle on foot running into this neighborhood. We're going to continue to follow this here live.
And Megan, you said that this is a 170 off near Magnolia, near North Hollywood Park area. There are usually a lot of people spending time and out and getting exercise this time of year. This is incredibly dangerous.
We've seen pedestrians.
I'm keeping my eye on this guy right now. We're running into residential neighborhoods. Look at this is somebody's home. I mean, if somebody is home right now, I hope their doors are locked.
Where are the police? How close are the police right now to this guy?
Well, I'm not going to pull out. I don't. The police know where he is. Now he's somewhere where this tree is. They try to hide in an area so they cannot be seen by the police helicopter. In fact, I see him right there. He's in that fence. Derek, I got this guy. I'm shooting 11 o'clock. He's in somebody's backyard. He thinks air units may not see him, but I'm sure they have a visual on this guy. So this home here, I'll get you an address here in a second. There's your LAPD, right to the upper left of your screen. There he is right there, hiding under these bushes, but it is a very dangerous situation. A man with an assault rifle barricaded near this house. Officers do have him surrounded. So the good news right now, they are actually setting up a perimeter. This guy is not going to get away, but he's just walking around right now waiting to see what officers are going to do.
We're following him too. You can just barely see the top of his head there by the roof and all of the trees. We're not seeing him running anymore. He's just walking back and forth. We see him now to the left and again under the tree.
And once again, the good news here, if he's in a yard there, they can establish some sort of perimeter and just lock down this entire area. This is a man we know who's already made threats. We knew he had a weapon and then jumped out of his vehicle carrying an assault rifle that he was actually waving out of the car for a period of time. Megan, can we be very specific, if you can, about where this block is, the cross streets, so that we can alert our viewers and make sure they stay away from this area?
I'll be able to get that in 1 second.
No problem.
Yeah, we're going to try to get that. What I can tell you right now is, obviously for safety issues, News Chopper 4, we pulled back a little. We're not going to be directly above this scene. This person has an assault rifle. They're going to do anything they can to try to get away from police. So we're shooting from a distance. I can tell you this area right here, this neighborhood, if this looks familiar to you, off the 170 Hollywood Freeway, this home right here is where he went into. The backyard of this home, you see that very large tree. He is in that area. Now, he's not able to go anywhere, and I'll show you why. To the top left, you have LAPD units. You also have LAPD units around over here. They have this entire area cordoned off, so he is not going to get away. We're keeping an eye. In fact, there he is. He's on a roof. So now he made his way on the roof here. So he is just looking like this may be some type of standoff.
All right. There we see him now kind of jumping around the roof to roof, actually still carrying that rifle in his right hand. Again, this suspect who has been the subject of a high-speed pursuit, an erratic pursuit, for an hour and 20 minutes now. We've been following it live here on NBC4. And this person was wanted for making criminal threats. We actually saw him with that rifle, that gun, outside his window at one point during the high-speed pursuit.
And, oh, go ahead, Megan.
I'm
sorry to cut you off. We're just taking a close look at this individual now sitting down with that assault rifle perched on top of the roof right there. Megan, can you see at all from your vantage point, are officers moving in? Does it look like they have him located on the rooftop there as well?
Well, they know where he is right now. So at least the situation is that we don't have to worry about him getting back into any vehicle or hurting anybody on the ground. The LAPD helicopter has addressed to all the units on the ground where he is, his position, what he is doing. Officers are not going to go in at this time. He obviously has the vantage point. He's up high. They've got nothing but time right now. They're not going to, meaning they're going to obviously bring this to an end. But as long as he's on the roof, they see what this guy is doing. They can monitor the situation. And when the time is right, they're going to come in and try to execute this maneuver to get him off that roof, de-armed, and get this person into custody. Which way it goes, we don't know right now.
Yeah, he seems to be in sort of a waiting situation right now. He doesn't have the rifle in a position where he is threatening anyone other than having it, but he seems to be waiting to see what police will do, waiting to figure out what his next move is, and apparently watching the airships up above.
Yeah, and I want to answer your question earlier. When he exited the 170, it looked like it was the Magnolia exit off the 170. We're a little west off the 170, and I believe we're just before we come up on Laurel Canyon. So again, it's that neighborhood here in the North Hollywood area. Look at that guy. He's just standing there with that assault rifle. Who knows how many rounds are in that weapon right now, but a very dangerous situation. We did not expect that. We heard that he was armed with a weapon, but indeed that was the weapon we saw him pointing to officers during the pursuit. And as he exited that vehicle, it is very scary to see a man running with an assault weapon or any weapon of matter in this neighborhood. And fortunately, looks like right now this is contained. He is contained in this area, and he just seems to be hanging out waiting to see what the next call is.
And in a haunting sight, it appears at times he's sort of looking right at the camera. News Chopper 4. I want to point out this area, Megan, that you described, North Hollywood High School is right there. Magnolia Boulevard and Colfax. Oakwood Secondary School is right there. Some of our viewers may remember last week that was the scene of a terrible accident nearby where some teenagers were hit by a vehicle. So right there, there are a number of kids, young kids, high school age kids. You can only imagine, depending on the perimeter that's been set up, perhaps some of those schools may end up going on lockdown. We'll have our assignment desk check into that and see if that's in fact the case. But right now, just a wait and see situation. Megan, maybe you can see from your vantage point.
Yeah, let me tell you right now, one thing that is on the good news is LA Unified is on summer break. Their last day was on Friday. So we don't have to worry about any of these schools here locally having students. But a lot of kids are home. We don't know if somebody's home inside this house. We're hoping that if anybody is watching, they're staying inside. Do not get involved. Do not try to be a hero. LAPD knows about this, and they are calling all resources to make this thing come to an end. They want this to come to a peaceful end, but they're going to have to do whatever they can to bring this guy down, because this guy is showing to be an imminent threat to this neighborhood. And again, it does look like he is looking directly into the camera at News Chopper 4, but we are on a double zoom right now. We have pulled back significantly. I don't know if this guy is going to start shooting up in the air. We saw that earlier in the North Hollywood shooting a long time ago, back in the early 90s, where those guys were shooting their assault rifles up at the media ships and the helicopters. So we're backing off a little right now for our safety. LAPD, they're using extra precaution as well, but he's just kind of hanging out right now, waiting to see what the next move is.
Yes, and we're just waiting too. Megan, I would assume that this is the time when police want to bring in some type of negotiator, I don't know, to try to get this wrapped up, to somehow make communication with him. We haven't seen him with a cell phone many times. Family members will be able to communicate with a loved one they know is involved in something like this, to talk them down, to get them to return to their home, to surrender. We've seen a lot of pursuits end like that. How do they make contact now with someone who is on a roof in a crowded neighborhood where people can be outside at this time of day, inside in their homes, and he's armed with a rifle of this magnitude?
Yeah, Kathy, he also has it appears in his other hand, he may have a cell phone. I believe that's what I saw. He has a cell phone in one hand and a rifle in the other. So he's probably already established contact with somebody. Family members, usually they'll call the police department. Sometimes the suspects already called the police department while they're under pursuit to let them know their intentions. So there'll be a way they can initiate a contact with this person. I'm sure they'll talk to him on a PA system from the helicopter above, but he's just very defiant, standing there. I mean, look at that pose. He is on somebody's roof in the Valley Glen, North Hollywood area with an assault rifle after this high-speed pursuit. And again, this is a very volatile situation. Officers are aware. Officers are surrounding this area. But again, we are taking our precautions by pulling back a little, as well as the LAPD ship. They're not making such tight orbits on this guy. They're monitoring him from a distance.
Yeah, just standing up there in a defiant stance. And Megan, yes, please do keep your distance. We have seen incidents in the past when individuals have shot their weapons up into the sky. So, of course, we're taking all the safety precautions necessary, listening to the scanners, making sure that we're following the instructions from the law enforcement agencies responding. And this, as we know, the LAPD, the lead agency, it all began about 10:15. So we're approaching 2 hours now. A long pursuit that sort of went around in circles around downtown LA on different highways, and then headed north and then back south again. And here we are in North Hollywood. And this is in an area, while school is not in session, but a lot of young people in this area. North Hollywood High School nearby, Oakwood Secondary School. Also, North Hollywood Park is just on the east side of the 170 freeway as well. So it's summertime. People are out and about. But it looks like the LAPD, at least for now, have this man barricaded on a rooftop. And hopefully, in just a matter of time, if they're not doing it already, they're communicating with him. And hopefully this individual makes the right decision and turns himself in.
We're starting to see him pacing around a little bit more than he was now when he was just standing there. And you have to wonder if he's trying to make a decision, what to do, if anyone has communicated with him. As you said, this is a busy area. Megan pulled out a minute ago, and you could see there are a lot of houses there, so it's a populated area. Many people live there. They might be home right now. They might be outside. And here is this man in the standoff with police. CHP was also involved. I don't know if any other units right now are going to help out with this, but you can see LAPD patrol cars there to the left. They have their cars there. They know where he is. Also, their airship up above, they're monitoring this, as are we, as we continue to wait and to watch at 11:43 what this man is going to do next.
And we're still trying to get more information about how this all began. All that we know is that he was making some threats and that he was armed, or at least had been known to carry a weapon. And as we saw towards the end of the pursuit, he actually started waving that assault rifle out the window, and it became incredibly dangerous when he went onto city streets and then stopped his vehicle, running around, circling some city blocks with the weapon in hand. And this is where he ended up. He wandered underneath some trees, hopped a couple fences, ended up on a rooftop, hopped around from roof to roof, and it seems like he's found his perch right now. And he's just sort of staring down the helicopters and looking off to the side from time to time, trying to decide what he's going to do next. And Megan, can you give us just a better sense of the perimeter here? Is it all isolated just to this one city block?
Yeah. Monitoring LAPD right now as they set up their perimeter, and really they are this whole neighborhood is on lockdown. That's Magnolia Boulevard, just to the top of your screen where you see those LAPD units. He's right off of Magnolia Boulevard. Unfortunately, here comes a vehicle traveling through that perimeter, but they're going to lock this neighborhood down. They're in the process of locking this neighborhood down. They want to make sure no vehicle traffic, no pedestrian traffic, it comes through. And there's no doubt LAPD has already put out on the PA system from the helicopter for all residents to stay inside. If you're watching Channel 4 News and you live in this neighborhood, stay inside. Looks like he may be attempting to get off of the roof now. So unfortunately, now this guy is going to come off the roof. So now we can't see exactly what he's going to do, but he's agitated. He's going to make his presence known, and he's just not going to comply. So we can only hope for a peaceful ending to the situation. But with a guy running around with an assault rifle, unfortunately, it just looks like this could be a very tragic ending.
Yeah, and from our vantage point and yours right now, he is blocked by the trees. We wouldn't want to give away what LAPD is doing, but you can rest assured that they have figured out their game plan now. As you said, they've set up the perimeter. We don't see a lot of activity there in the neighborhood, so they probably have been on the intercom telling people to stay inside, lock their windows, lock their doors.
Do you?
And we're listening.
Sorry, guys.
No
yeah,
problem.
No, we're communicating with our pilot here. We're trying to get an eye on this subject, but at least we have a wide shot right now. I don't know if that is him in there. No, we have a wide shot so we can see if he attempts to leave the property. We haven't seen him move away from the safety of that coverage of the tree. A lot of times they'll try to find a tree or any type of building to hide from the LAPD airship. So right now he seems to be doing a good job, but we have not seen him leave this property. So this was the roof that he was on right there in the center of your screen. He came off the roof, walked back toward this property, and we haven't seen him come out yet.
He's easy to spot. He's dressed in all white or some shade of, and he's pretty easy to spot between the trees and the house and the grass there. So if he does make a move, we'll probably be able to see it, but I'm not seeing anything at this point.
And also, as we're talking about resources in the LAPD, we talked about the airship that's out there, but the LAPD North Hollywood station is literally just a few blocks away. So they have plenty of resources at their disposal, and they've set up this perimeter around this one city block. Again, this is the North Hollywood area just west of the 170. And this individual exited Magnolia Boulevard and then got off onto city streets and began wandering around the neighborhood. So if you are watching right now and you live in this area of North Hollywood, there are schools in the area, parks nearby. Make sure you stay inside, lock your doors, don't open it for anybody. And until we get some sort of resolution here, and it's an incredibly dangerous time, especially since we can't see what's going on. We're keeping our distance to make sure that we don't interfere and put ourselves at risk or jeopardize the standoff efforts right now from the LAPD.
And luckily, with all the police activity and the helicopters in the air, people get an idea something's going on. Hopefully, they'll go inside, turn on the TV and see. So that if you do live in this neighborhood, you can take the precautions that you need to, because this is nothing to fool around with. We're looking at a very agitated person who is willing to go on a high-speed pursuit, willing to make these erratic moves on the freeways, on these side streets, and then end up on the roof in this neighborhood here. And he is armed with an assault rifle, at least at this point, is what we know.
And all too often, sometimes people tend to gravitate to these types of crime scenes and want to see what's going on. This is definitely not the situation. You want to make sure you stay inside, keep those doors locked. We know that this man made threats earlier today. Obviously, he's armed with an assault rifle, actually waved that rifle out the window of his car at other vehicles that he was passing on the freeway. So this is an individual who clearly does not want to be caught by police, but he's in a situation right now where he has few options. Time is running out. Is he going to turn himself in? Certainly everybody's hoping that that's the case. His only other option really is to wait or engage with the LAPD officers, and hopefully that is not how this all pans out, and that they are in contact with him right now, at least through some sort of a PA system. But we've lost him in the trees right now. Megan, do you see any sort of activity on the side of the LAPD?
Well, listening to monitoring what the LAPD is talking about, they believe this person may have gone into this house here. So it just shows the volatile of the situation. If somebody was home, whether or not, now you have a barricaded suspect with residents inside. So it is a really dangerous situation. There's the LAPD helicopter. They do not see him, but they believe he went into this house right here. There's an open window there, but we would have seen if he would have gone in via that window. Last we saw, he came off this roof. He was on that roof there, came into this area, this backyard where this tree is, and they have not seen him since. So they believe that person now is barricaded inside this house, making it just it's a very dangerous situation here, because now they don't even know if any residents were home at the time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they can't get help from the helicopter. You can't see. They can't tell them what is the position right now. It's totally blocked by the tree and the house if he went inside, and it's just incredible to see that open window there, and you realize how vulnerable people can be when they're in their own homes.
And we have to be careful with our own reporting and what we can show in these situations, because it's such a volatile standoff right now. We don't want to give away what the LAPD might be doing, and so we kind of have to keep our distance for our own safety. So all we can do right now is watch and wait, and again emphasize, if you're in this neighborhood, you have to stay inside, you have to lock your doors, and this is not the type of scene to wander outside and see what's going on. This individual let's sort of backtrack here and explain how this all began. It started with a pursuit earlier today about 10:15, originated in the El Monte, Monterey Park area. He was on and off the 5 freeway, the 10, the 110, went up to South Pasadena, then came back down towards downtown Los Angeles and ended up on the 5 North. He was reaching speeds 80, more than 100 miles per hour freeway. Turned around, came back on the 170, and that's how he ended up in North Hollywood. At that point, that's when we started to see him pull out his assault rifle and actually wave it out of the car window at people, stopped his vehicle, and then took off in the city streets. And that's where we are right now. He wandered into this neighborhood, city block, up on a rooftop, and now we don't know where he is. Perhaps inside a house, and let's hope nobody's in the house with him.
Yeah, we did see that open window. We're not seeing him anymore. You can see on the left side of your screen, that's the car he was in. He comes out of the car, and everyone holds their breath. We couldn't believe it. An assault rifle is what he is armed with. He gets out, and he starts to take off on foot. He runs into this neighborhood.
Which backyard?
Now we're hearing from Megan Reyes. She may have spotted him in the backyard. We'll continue to monitor it. And Megan, you tell us if you get him again. That's the live version on the right side. What we're watching on the left is when he bailed out of the car, now running across the street.
They got a visual of him.
Okay, police
Kathy,
apparently have a visual.
LAPD, I'm sorry, Kathy. LAPD apparently has a visual of the suspect in the backyard. We're trying to see exactly what backyard he is in, but that's not him, but they do have an eye on him in one of these backyards, so we're going to try to find him right now and monitor officers.
Okay, if you're watching, this is the North Hollywood neighborhood, the 11,000 block of Hartsook Street. Again, it's near Oakwood High School. This whole area has been placed on lockdown. We're not seeing cars or people in the street. Police have set up a perimeter as they continue to try to search for this man. He is either in a house or outside our view and blocked by the trees right now, so we're not getting a view of him, but we know he's down there.
And this neighborhood, too, there are a number of schools there. Fortunately, it's the end of the school year. School is out right now, but still, there are a lot of teenagers, young kids who play and frequent the area. Just east of the 170 is North Hollywood Park. There are a number of businesses and a lot of people out there enjoying some outdoor recreation, especially when the weather is like it is right now. But police, the LAPD, they're the lead agency in this. They have this city block barricaded. And again, we have this wide aerial view for a number of reasons. You see the LAPD airship kind of moving through your screen in the live picture, but we have pulled back for our own safety just in case he turns that assault rifle into the air and starts firing. But we're able, with our great lens here, zoom in and capture what's going on. But at this point, we haven't been able to get a visual. He's been hiding in the wooded area, but Megan Reyes reporting that the LAPD has said that they do have a visual on him, which perhaps could be some encouraging news, because the biggest fear is that he wanders into one of these homes and that somebody is inside, an innocent person just in their home, hoping that they don't become a victim of this man right now.
Yeah, Whit, I just want to let you know that we're still monitoring the situation here. We're listening to LAPD coordinate. And again, you are talking about we're going to be careful what we're going to show. This is the area where the suspect was last seen. We do have officers on the roof with assault rifles on locations nearby. Now, in case if this suspect did get into a house on a live shot like this, we're not going to compromise the officers' positions. We don't want to show them where exactly they are, but they do have this area surrounded. Now, not too long ago, the LAPD airship believed they had a visual of the person in the backyard. Nobody seems to have a visual right now, but this area is contained. I believe this is near Irving and Hartford. That was the intersection. I believe this is Hartford Street right here, and Irving to the north and south. So this suspect is in this area. Officers have it completely surrounded. And again, if you are a resident of this area, stay inside until officers can safely conclude the situation.
And it does look like they have it pretty much on lockdown. We're not seeing any cars when you zoom out on the street. People wandering around the neighborhood. So that at least is some good news. And hopefully if people in this area are watching, they will stay inside and make sure their doors and their windows are locked. And if for some reason you live in this area and you're not there now, do not try to go into that area. The best thing right now is to let police handle this situation as they continue to monitor it and keep that perimeter around the area.
And we're getting a better, more specific description about where this is. This is the 11,600 block of Hartsook in North Hollywood, and the cross street there is Irvin or Irvine. And I should also point out that we're being told that Colfax Charter School is on lockdown. Again, there are a number of schools in this area. So Colfax Charter School is on lockdown right now due to this armed and dangerous individual with an assault rifle who has barricaded himself on this one city block. Hartsook, 11,600 block of Hartsook in North Hollywood. And again, a number of schools in the area, parks in the area. This individual behaving dangerously throughout the course of the day as he was driving up and down the freeways here and around downtown Los Angeles. And this is the end. This is where this is going to end. The question is, will he turn himself in, or will he make a really bad decision?
Okay, apparently we need to let you know that police are at Oakwood School right now. If you're a parent or you need to know this, you know kids who are there or you have kids there, police are there with the students. So they're on lockdown, but they're safe. They have police with them right now. They're telling everyone, keep your doors locked, keep your windows locked as they continue to search for this armed suspect. All right, well, once again, we're watching here. Megan Reyes is in News Chopper 4 looking into the backyards. It's just a surreal situation. We are watching a pursuit 1 minute that we see so often here in the Southern California area and, in fact, across the nation. But today we were watching it here. Who would have thought it would come to an end where we are right now in this standoff with police? The man getting out of the car with an assault rifle and running through the streets, running into this neighborhood here in North Hollywood, just south of Magnolia, in this area with so many schools and the residential area, going up on top of the roof and then just seeming to wait it out, like waiting for the next thing to happen. Yeah,
I mean, here in Southern California, with our population, with our freeways, we do see plenty of high-speed pursuits, but rarely does it actually come down to something like this. And this individual actually waving that assault rifle at other vehicles, innocent people. Who knows if he was threatening some of the other drivers. This is actually what we're showing you right now. On the left side of your screen, you see some of the video recorded earlier On the right side is our live picture of this standoff. The man barricaded with an assault rifle right now. But earlier today, this all started 10:15 in the LAPD Hollenbeck division. A pursuit. This man was making threats. They knew that he was armed, and he sort of led police on this wild chase up and down a number of freeways, the 10, the 5, the 110, and then came back down the 170. And that's where he exited at Magnolia and ended up in this neighborhood. And again, a number of schools are on lockdown. Oakwood School on lockdown. Colfax Charter is on lockdown. There are other schools in the area.